National Electrical Code Section 406.6 covers flexible cords and cables. Specifically, 406.6b addresses explosion-proof and waterproof equipment. This section states that flexible cords and cables are only to be used for connections between portable lighting equipment or other portable utilization equipment and the fixed portion of the electrical installation. They should not be used as a substitute for the fixed wiring of the structure. In this instance, the explosion-proof connectors are components of the portable generators, not the permanent wiring of the buildings or lift stations. Therefore, they are subject to the exception outlined in 406.6b. This means their usage is allowed for connections between the portable generators and the fixed electrical installations of the buildings and lift stations. It's crucial to understand the distinction between portable equipment and fixed wiring. The NEC aims to prevent flexible cords from being used in place of permanent wiring methods, which are designed for long-term reliability and safety. However, the code recognizes the necessity of using flexible cords for connecting portable equipment to a power source. The exception in 406.6b acknowledges this practical need. Several factors should be considered when using explosion-proof connectors with portable generators. Firstly, it's important to ensure that the connectors are properly rated for the environment in which they are being used. Explosion-proof connectors are designed to contain any internal explosion and prevent it from propagating to the surrounding atmosphere. Secondly, the flexible cords used with these connectors must also be suitable for the intended application. They should be of the appropriate type and size, and they must be protected from physical damage. Thirdly, the connection between the portable generator and the fixed electrical installation must be made in a safe and reliable manner. This may involve the use of a transfer switch or other approved means of interconnection. It is also critical to observe all relevant safety precautions when working with portable generators and electrical equipment. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses, and following lockout/tagout procedures to de-energize equipment before working on it. If there is any doubt about the proper application of the NEC, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. They can provide guidance on the specific requirements that apply to this situation and ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable codes and standards. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document, and it is essential to have a thorough understanding of its provisions in order to ensure the safety of electrical installations. Section 406.6 is just one small part of the code, but it is an important one when dealing with flexible cords and cables. Remember that the primary goal of the NEC is to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity. By following the code's requirements, we can help to ensure that electrical installations are safe and reliable. Let's delve a bit deeper into the context of using portable generators in conjunction with lift stations and buildings. Lift stations, by their very nature, often handle wastewater and are located in areas where potentially hazardous gases may be present. Buildings, depending on their function, could also have areas where flammable substances are used or stored. In such environments, the use of explosion-proof equipment becomes particularly critical to prevent ignition of these hazardous atmospheres. Explosion-proof equipment is designed to contain any spark or explosion within its enclosure, preventing it from escaping and igniting the surrounding atmosphere. This is achieved through robust construction, tight seals, and specialized materials that can withstand high pressures and temperatures. The Appleton plugs mentioned are a specific brand of explosion-proof connectors known for their quality and reliability. When selecting explosion-proof connectors and other equipment for use in hazardous locations, it is important to ensure that they are properly rated for the specific class, division, and group of the hazardous atmosphere. These classifications are defined by the NEC and other standards organizations, and they specify the types of flammable substances that may be present and the likelihood of their presence. The NEC Article 500 provides detailed information on the classification of hazardous locations. It is also important to consider the temperature rating of the equipment. The temperature rating indicates the maximum surface temperature that the equipment will reach under normal operating conditions. This temperature must be below the ignition temperature of any flammable substances that may be present in the atmosphere. When connecting portable generators to lift stations and buildings with explosion-proof requirements, it is essential to maintain the integrity of the explosion-proof system. This means using only approved connectors and fittings, ensuring that all connections are properly tightened and sealed, and avoiding any modifications that could compromise the equipment's ability to contain an explosion. In addition to the explosion-proof requirements, it is also important to consider the electrical safety aspects of connecting portable generators to fixed electrical installations. This includes ensuring that the generator is properly grounded, that the wiring is of the appropriate size and type, and that overcurrent protection is provided. A transfer switch is often used to safely switch between the utility power and the generator power. The transfer switch isolates the generator from the utility grid, preventing backfeed and ensuring that the generator's power is properly directed to the intended loads. It is crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing and operating portable generators and associated equipment. These instructions will provide detailed information on the proper procedures for connecting the generator, grounding it, and operating it safely. Regular maintenance is also essential to ensure that the equipment continues to function properly and safely. This includes inspecting the connectors, cords, and wiring for damage, testing the overcurrent protection devices, and performing any other maintenance tasks recommended by the manufacturer. The use of portable generators in emergency situations can be a valuable asset, providing power to essential equipment and systems when the utility power is interrupted. However, it is important to use these generators safely and responsibly, following all applicable codes and standards and taking all necessary precautions to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity. Let's explore further into some common scenarios where portable generators are used in lift stations and buildings. Lift stations are critical infrastructure components for wastewater management. During power outages, they can become inoperable, leading to sewage backups and environmental hazards. Therefore, having a reliable backup power source, such as a portable generator, is essential. In these situations, explosion-proof connectors are used to safely connect the generator to the lift station's electrical system, ensuring that the pumps can continue to operate and prevent sewage overflows. In buildings, portable generators may be used to power essential lighting, heating, and cooling systems during power outages. They may also be used to power critical equipment, such as medical devices, communication systems, and security systems. The use of explosion-proof connectors is particularly important in buildings where flammable substances are used or stored, such as laboratories, manufacturing facilities, and storage warehouses. In these environments, a spark from an electrical connection could easily ignite a fire or explosion. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment used in hazardous locations be properly rated for the specific class, division, and group of the hazardous atmosphere. This includes portable generators and their associated connectors. The selection of the appropriate explosion-proof connectors is crucial for ensuring the safety of the electrical installation. The connectors must be designed to contain any internal explosion and prevent it from propagating to the surrounding atmosphere. They must also be resistant to corrosion and other environmental factors that could compromise their integrity. In addition to the explosion-proof requirements, it is also important to consider the ampacity of the connectors. The ampacity is the amount of current that the connector can safely carry. The connectors must be sized appropriately for the load that they will be supplying. Overloading a connector can cause it to overheat and fail, leading to a fire or other electrical hazard. When installing explosion-proof connectors, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The connectors must be properly tightened and sealed to ensure that they provide a tight seal and prevent the ingress of moisture or other contaminants. It is also important to inspect the connectors regularly for damage and to replace them if necessary. The NEC provides detailed requirements for the installation and use of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. These requirements are designed to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity and to ensure that electrical installations are safe and reliable. When working with portable generators and explosion-proof connectors, it is essential to have a thorough understanding of the NEC requirements and to follow them carefully. If there is any doubt about the proper application of the NEC, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. Remember that the safety of the electrical installation depends on the proper selection, installation, and maintenance of all electrical components, including portable generators and explosion-proof connectors. Another critical aspect to consider is the grounding of portable generators. Proper grounding is essential for preventing electrical shock hazards and ensuring the safe operation of electrical equipment. The NEC provides detailed requirements for grounding portable generators, and it is important to follow these requirements carefully. In general, portable generators should be grounded to a suitable grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. The grounding conductor must be of the appropriate size and type, and it must be connected to the generator's grounding terminal. It is also important to ensure that the generator's frame is properly bonded to the grounding system. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. This helps to ensure that overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, will operate properly and quickly clear any faults. When connecting a portable generator to a fixed electrical installation, it is important to ensure that the grounding system is properly coordinated. This may involve the use of a transfer switch with a switch neutral, which isolates the generator's neutral from the building's neutral when the generator is in operation. This prevents circulating currents and ensures that the grounding system functions properly. In addition to the grounding requirements, it is also important to consider the overcurrent protection requirements for portable generators. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. Portable generators must be equipped with overcurrent protection devices that are sized appropriately for the generator's output capacity. These devices must be installed in a readily accessible location and must be properly maintained. When connecting a portable generator to a fixed electrical installation, it is important to ensure that the overcurrent protection devices are coordinated. This means that the overcurrent protection devices in the generator and the building's electrical system must be sized so that they will operate in a coordinated manner to clear any faults. Let's turn our attention to the specific requirements of NEC 406.6b in more detail. This section of the code addresses the use of flexible cords and cables in explosion-proof and waterproof equipment. As previously mentioned, this section allows the use of flexible cords and cables for connections between portable lighting equipment or other portable utilization equipment and the fixed portion of the electrical installation. However, it also states that flexible cords and cables should not be used as a substitute for the fixed wiring of the structure. This provision is intended to prevent the use of flexible cords and cables in place of permanent wiring methods which are designed for long-term reliability and safety. The exception in 406.6b recognizes that flexible cords and cables are necessary for connecting portable equipment to a power source. However, it also emphasizes the importance of using these cords and cables only for their intended purpose and not as a substitute for fixed wiring. When using flexible cords and cables in explosion-proof and waterproof equipment, it is important to ensure that they are properly rated for the environment in which they are being used. This means selecting cords and cables that are resistant to moisture, chemicals, and other environmental factors that could compromise their integrity. It is also important to ensure that the cords and cables are properly supported and protected from physical damage. This may involve the use of cable trays, conduits, or other protective measures. In addition, it is important to inspect the cords and cables regularly for damage and to replace them if necessary. Damaged cords and cables can pose a serious electrical hazard and should be replaced immediately. The NEC provides detailed requirements for the installation and use of flexible cords and cables in explosion-proof and waterproof equipment. These requirements are designed to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity and to ensure that electrical installations are safe and reliable. When working with flexible cords and cables in these environments, it is essential to have a thorough understanding of the NEC requirements and to follow them carefully. The goal is to use portable generators safely and effectively while adhering to the National Electrical Code and maintaining the integrity of explosion-proof systems where required. Understanding these regulations and following best practices will help ensure safe and reliable power during critical times.